Hello Internet, your friendly neighborhood gremlin here, and today we're going to design a yellow house for Victoria. Maybe cottage is the more appropriate word? She asked for like a cute yellow cottage, I think is what the name of it is, so that's what we give her, a cute yellow cottage. Hopefully you agree that it's cute and yellow. I'm not entirely sure you could contest the yellow aspect, but you may not think it's cute. I think it's pretty cute. Certainly not sort of the best build or one of the builds I'm most proud of, but I do like it in the end, so I suppose that counts for something, right? We do struggle here for a little bit in the beginning, not entirely sure what it is we're going for. We end up choosing the dark wood flooring, which is maybe a questionable choice, but I thought I was going to use that flower record player, and it's yellow and dark brown, so we thought we'd put dark on the floor. Turns out we don't use the record player, so I probably could have just used the white, especially when you consider that there's no other dark wood in the build at all. I do try when I put the Nordic sofa in to use the dark wood, but it ends up not looking right. Though I do suppose the window frames are a dark-ish wood, so maybe the dark wood was a good idea. Ties it all in. Maybe it would have looked dumb with the white floors. I don't know. Maybe you can let me know down below what you think, if it was a good or horrible decision. The build ends up being fairly small in the end. We have like a kitchen and a bedroom and a tiny living room and what you may call a seating area, but what is actually just a bookshelf and a chair. And it even ends up rectangular, because that is apparently the only thing I can do now. Still pretty small. We don't actually put a lot of things inside because there aren't a lot of yellow things, but we do the best with what we have. I think the outside ends up more successful than the inside, but we'll need to talk about what I like about it when we get there. Here we are changing the color of the Nordic sofa. We try the white, but the white is a little bit too bright and the natural wood is kind of a more yellowy tone. Maybe the natural wood would have been the right color of floor to choose. I guess we can just imagine that she moved in and repapered the walls but didn't have enough money or time or energy to do the floors and the windowsills. Though I suppose objectively that is what she hired us for, and here we are not doing those things. Well, I can't change the windowsill color. It just is not an option. I kind of wish it was, but who knows? I mean, more decisions are not always a good thing, especially for me, a person who cannot make up her mind to save her life. This here is definitely one of my favorite parts of the build, just the way that bookshelf looks next to the wall. I do think that sort of optical illusion it creates that sort of makes it seem like the wall continues and that's the bookshelf and there's not a hole there is really neat. The reaction she gives here is the reason that we use so much of that cute furniture set, because she seemed very excited about it. And now we come to the largest disappointment of the build. They have that orangey wood color that I thought would go well with the orangey wood of the baseboard. It doesn't. I was pretty devastated about it. That was the one thing I thought when I saw that orange baseboard color was, I can use those partition walls. It'll be great. It wasn't great. Anyway, here we are going to put the kitchen in, and then we're going to extend the room because we're going to realize it is way too small to have a kitchen. We are going to try to play the game we played in Kurt's house where the kitchen space is too small and so we end up making it not functional by putting things in front of things they shouldn't go in front of, as well as just like not having a sink at all. In the end, however, we just make the room larger. And this allows us to have 2 counters, which will be exciting later when we put way too much stuff on them. Maybe let me know down in the comments below what color you would want your room to be if it could only be one color. I'm not really sure I have an answer to that question. I would say that yellow, mustard yellow specifically, is my favorite color. I do not think I would want an entire room that was only yellow though. To be fair, however, I'm not sure I'd want a room that was only one color. I think that would be kind of boring. Not that this ends up looking boring, I think it's kind of cute, but I don't know that I could pick just one color. The way I couldn't pick just one food. I'm not good at this sort of one thing, I say, as an autistic person who regularly just eats the exact same thing every day. But we eat one thing every day until we get bored of that thing, and then we eat another thing every day until we get bored of that thing. We don't just only eat one food. And I do eat more than once a day. So again, more than one food. I don't know that I could do just one thing. I think I might go crazy. We are now going to try and rearrange the kitchen, and by rearrange I mean just flip to the opposite side of the wall. However, as you can see, then the sink is touching the bookshelf, which doesn't seem like a good idea, and so we return back to exactly what we had before. And now we're going to give ourselves another spin and accept that the mum cushion is not going to work in here, though I really wanted it to work in here, because conceptually I really like it. It's just a little bit too short, I think. Maybe that is the problem. This moon chair is another one of those things that I like in concept, and then in practice is just not right, at least the majority of the time. And as such, we end up with a rocking chair sitting in front of the bookshelf there, and we add another of the exact same light, because you should have lights while you're reading books. good for your eyes. But now that we've put all of the large furniture in, we're going to put all of the sort of miscellaneous stuff that we think we want, mostly just kitchen things, because there's not a lot of space to put things in this house. I don't have a lot of flat surfaces, and as we are going to find out in a moment, you cannot put anything on top of the cute wardrobe, which is devastating, because look how flat that thing is. Things should be able to go on top of it. I mean, sure, it has a lip, but that does not mean things should not be able to sit behind the lip. Maybe, however, this is for the best, as that glowing clock there is what I wanted to put on the bedside table. We're going to try it out in a second, but it doesn't work anyway, so I suppose I don't really need to put things on top of the dresser. And now we're going to take our books and put them by the bookshelf, because that is where books go. I do think you now cannot use the rocking chair anymore, but that's okay. And we will now find enough yellow kitchen items to put on absolutely every surface of the kitchen that we possibly can. Unfortunately, these cooking bowls have way too many non-yellow colors on them, and so we will end up with a freshly sliced loaf cake. Admittedly, Victoria does not strike me as the baker type, but she also does not strike me as the kind of person who loves cute things. So I suppose we should just let her be complex. I do believe now we are going to move on to wall art, and I know what you're thinking. These walls are way too busy for wall art. And I agree, so I put in a secret accent wall. This is possibly the cause of doing too much, because I do think maybe it would have been better without the wall art, or at least the wall art doesn't add anything exceptional to the build in any way. I'm even going to entertain the idea of putting fish on the wall, which is absolutely the wrong decision. Don't worry, we don't do it. To be fair, however, they are in her order. She does say the fish are a thing that she likes. We will, however, give her a Van Gogh and a cute clock, as well as a portrait of herself and a framed pattern. I would like to say, in retrospect, I hate the glowing stars we put across the top. I don't know why I felt like I needed them to be there, but I did feel like I needed them to be there, and so that is where they are. But don't worry, we're almost done with the inside, and soon we'll be able to go outside and never have to look at those stars again. So the last things to do in here are put some pots in the kitchen and some lights on the ceiling, and then we're ready to head out. If you've done Victoria's house, let me know what direction you took it in. Did you go full-on cute cottage or entirely separate direction? Oh god, I forgot about the drapes. We do finally successfully use the drapes. Successfully may not be the appropriate word to use there, because I'm not sure I like them, and yet they stay. However, we can now exit to the outdoors, where I do feel like I make a few more clever decisions than I did inside. That, of course, is not to say that we don't struggle quite a bit, because the house coloring is going to give us quite a bit of trouble. We will get there in the end, but we're going to have to try a lot of roofs and a lot of sidings. In the end, however, I do think we can just call it okay. It's not the best thing in the world, but it most certainly is yellow. I feel strongly that we need more housing options in Animal Crossing. Just more like siding and roof options. Maybe also doors. I don't know, the shapes are probably fine. We probably don't need more shapes. If you have Happy Home Paradise, do you change all of your villagers' houses on your island, or do you let them do what they want with them? I should probably film more villager makeovers for houses, because there are quite a few of my villagers whose houses have not redecorated, though of course some of them are temporary, and I'm still upset about Chino. I'm fairly certain it was less than a week later, after I had redecorated her house, that she came to me and still wanted to see my interior design ideas, and so I felt very hurt, and now I'm waiting for her to ask to leave, because I am totally over Chino. Let me know if you've had any villager feuds down below. We managed to put the ugly tulip surprise boxes, tables, I don't know what those things are called, in front of the house, and then we're gonna hide them with trees so you don't have to look at them. And we have just made my very best decision, which is making it fall, because now the trees are yellow, and I felt real proud about this one. We're now going to have a dumb moment where I'm certain that somehow I can make these line up, because the entrance to both the house and the thing is 2 squares. So why can I not make the 2 squares align? Why is this not possible? Why does the world hate me? I don't know. It's 2 squares and 2 squares. Why can they not be the same? Why? Somebody help me. Anyway, we accept the cruelty of the world in which we live, and now we're going to pull out all of the bushes to decide which bush color is the one we like best. We are going to start out with 2 colors from 2 separate bushes. Obviously, the same bush is not 2 separate colors. And when we change our mind later down the line, we're going to forget to change one of the bush's colors. So we just have one bush that is a different color than all of the other bushes. But also it is hiding in shade, and so maybe it should be darker anyway. The outside ends up more simple than the inside, and yet I like it more instead of less. And we even inexplicably add rubber ducks, because yellow, obviously. Also because the color of the dreamy yellow toys is disappointing to me. Not all of the time, sometimes I like them, but in this case it doesn't go with the theme, and so we cannot use them. Here I have made a strange diagonal path with the mum cushions, sort of like imagine you go through them and it sort of is diagonal. Maybe this would have made more sense if I had added actual pathing, which is a thing I've just thought of now while I'm looking at it again. And here we are trying to add more things that we don't need to add, and so we don't until we get the brilliant idea to add fences, which will stay. Of course, first we have to comb through the entire catalog and see if there are any other yellow things we can possibly put in here, because I do not know how to stop. But hey, at least the fences end up cute, even though the bridge is slightly too large and so we cannot have it match up on either side. By that I mean I need it to have flowers also, and so it just isn't gonna fit, because obviously the two on the right are only 2 tiles long, but flowers need to end up on this side, and so it's not gonna fit. And so we're gonna fiddle around with it for a minute and then accept our fate, which does seem to be the theme of Animal Crossing, just accept the fate that you are handed. Maybe that makes sense. There is that phrase in Japanese which sort of translates to "it can't be helped," which is maybe conveying a similar concept. Or maybe the people who make Animal Crossing just enjoy allowing us to suffer. Either way, we soldier on, because I do indeed love Animal Crossing. Of course, I've also cut out the photos here. Again, if you care, let me know which side of the debate you fall upon. Otherwise, we have arrived at the end of the video. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Goodbye!